All right, dear crypto community and SwissBorgers, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Alpha. What is Alpha? We are interviewing some of the early stage and promising projects that we're offering to our community through specific vaults. And although this is seeing everything from the investor's perspective, please do not take this as investment advice or financial advice. It's purely for educational purposes. And without further ado, I'm going to welcome Adam Ben, co-founder at Victoria VR. Adam, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, bro.
Hey, bro, how are you? Hello, community. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for coming in. And I'd love to kick off with a very high-level question before we dive into the 7 T's framework. Adam, I think a lot of people are confused on, is VR a real thing? What is VR versus AR? What's the future? We saw there was a really big trend, and then it kind of faded away. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, Apple comes in, it becomes a trend again. Can you just give us a basic explanation for those who are still a bit new to VR and AR and all these technologies?
Amazing. So let me maybe describe it about how we started. So we started with this company in 2018. We saw that VR is the new big thing. And it's not just changing the gaming, it's the new internet, 3D internet. This is how we saw it. But there were a few problems. The first one was that the hardware wasn't ready yet. It was expensive and it wasn't on the level that normal users are using it. But we couldn't change that. We said that, hey, we would like to upgrade the software. And we say the biggest breakdown would be once the graphic is realistic, right? We would like to improve the gameplay, but we say, hey, is it even possible at 2018? But we successfully went from our previous project. So we got funds. We hired a lot of people here in Prague. We are Prague-based studio. By the way, in Prague, in Czech Republic, we are very
Europe
famous
in the house. Yes.
We are very famous for virtual reality development. So, for example, the Beat Saber, one of the most played game ever, is here from Prague, from the 22 guys. So, and we have a lot of very smart people in VR here. So we started working on if it's possible to put in VR realistic graphics, because that's what we believe is the break even. And after 1.5 years, we did. So we started before the metaverse was cool. And I was saying to everybody that, hey, this is the new internet. It's not just changing the gaming. It's the new way how you interact with people, how you work, how you create stuff. You know, you have all the information today. Everything is so fast. You have the TikToks, you have the Reels, you have like 3 seconds to get the attention of the people. But when you are inside it and it's all around you, it's something completely different, you know? It will go under your skin. But it's not happening if it's cartoon. So the realistic graphics is very important. We started when Unreal Engine opened the doors for VR. And that time when we had the prototype, which I believe was already like much better than other, I'm not saying like Web3 because before there was nothing, like about I'm saying about Web2. And that time Zuckerberg rebranded Meta to Meta, right? So that was the big metaverse boom. That helped in 21. So we did the ICO, we hired more people. So right now, currently we have like 80 in-house developers. And since then we are building. So what we are building is virtual world in virtual reality with realistic graphics based on blockchain. So we are focusing for the game because I believe the game, the really good game, the gamers will be the main catalyst for the VR adoption, but also for blockchain adoption, right? And we are combining this together. So our goal is to not just create some, because with the metaverse hype, I think that a lot of projects were doing just something like, it was game that we played 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, and it was just, it's on blockchain. And it was good for the hype, right? For like crypto speculators, but the real gamers, I don't see that they care about if they own it on a blockchain or not. They just want to have the best experience ever, right?
Yeah,
they don't want to make money by playing, or some of them maybe do, but they want to have the best experience and the best game. So that's why we are creating something that is not existing yet, right? I don't know the MMORPG style game with realistic graphics on VR yet. And the blockchain is a very important part, but we are focusing the real gamers, right? So what we are building is, right now we are focusing for the game, because that's how we get the users, that's how we make them coming back. But at the same time, we are creating tools that you or anybody will be able to create their own metaverse virtual reality even without programming skills. Because, for example, when internet started, it was hard to create the website, right? Now every company has it because the most traction is there, and every student can do it in 30 minutes. Even anybody without programming skills, because you have the templates, you have the tools. That's what we are creating also. So we are having the game, but at the same time platform, so you will be able to create your own metaverse virtual reality with realistic graphics without 80 in-house developers, and you can monetize it. And this is how we believe once you have this experience in VR, then the 2D internet on phone or on PC will be boring, you know. And the vision that we had, Apple is now helping us. So the narrative is back with VR, but now it will be about the product, right? And that's good for us because we have the product. Because before it was promises, there were a lot of metaverse hypes, but where are the projects now? So we already launched one of the products, and what we believe is, what we are building is that world when you can actually live, because you will be able to play a game there, you will be able to work, you will be able to sell real goods, you will be able to buy real goods, you will be able to educate yourself, you will be able to socialize. So all the stuff you can do in real life, you will be able to do in VR. But for that, the graphics is, I believe, the key.
Absolutely. So you touched upon many really important points. And just for those watching out today, so the way we're structuring this interview, we believe the most effective framework to fully understand a project is to look at our 7T model. And of course, the T, you already touched a little bit upon the team. You touched a little bit upon the second T, which is the technology. And you touch a little bit upon the fourth T, which is the theme and trend. Now, one question that I have as a follow-up, actually, you mentioned very important points. And the first thing I would like to follow up on is the future of VR and AR. And obviously, as you know, Adam, we had Ready Player One, which was a movie that made a lot of people dream about this kind of a world that feels, like you said, hyper-realistic, but it's also new. It's bridging both the familiar and unfamiliar worlds so that we can kind of escape from our day-to-day routines, right? So do you believe there's a future for both VR and AR? Which one is better? I know it's a bit of a overly simplistic question, but I think it's important to just hear your perspective on this.
100%. So I believe the AR and VR will go up and up and up. And I believe it's not, they are not enemies, right? So for some things you will need AR, of course. So with what Apple is doing and what they have is that for the normal work, I can see that I'm going out on the streets and having AR, right? You are in something different in work and you have the AR. So I think that will be more for like socialize and work. And then for VR, it's more for gaming and maybe for even more immersive experiences where you really go to the shop. And I believe what Apple did is extremely good, that you can really switch. Quest also have it, of course, but I think some people will use more AR, some people will use more VR, but and you can combine them together. And what I believe is actually, because by the way, Ready Player One was also like our favorite thing, and it inspires us. And what I believe is that in 3 years, there will be some people that will live more in virtual reality than in this life. I'm like pretty sure of that. And I believe like in 5-10 years, there will be even more people. It will be like already some percentage of the people that will really live over there more than here in this life. Because what you can see is even today, a lot of people, they are on dinner and they are swiping, you know? So they are already inside. But once you have the immersive experience, it's completely different.
Is that going to be with glasses, by the way, Adam? Do you think it's going to remain like goggles, or it'll be overly simplified with glasses?
So the glasses are getting better and better. If I remember what glasses we used before at 2018, so it was like, it was $2,000 and you had for another $4,000 PC, right? And it was very heavy. You needed the PC now.
Yeah.
Quests are pretty cheap already, and they are good. Apple, they are doing something different, but it's Apple. They are making the trend. So I believe the glasses will be smaller. Then the future are lens, 100%. But the main future, and that's what we are prepared, and that's how we are doing, I believe, still is the Neuralink. So how we saw it in Black Mirror, I think this is happening, and then we will be just able to put the software there. So I believe it will get smaller, of course, cheaper, but then the future, I believe it's actually the chips and all this stuff. So how we can say that you will just really live like different life. So maybe we are in simulation now. More we are doing this, more I think we are actually.
Amazing, buddy. Well, there's two things I'd love to dive deeper into. So you were mentioning the importance of having a hyper realistic, something that makes people really want to join a new world. So why don't we have a look at the Victoria VR trailer together, Adam? It's better to show rather than to just talk about it. What do you think?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, great. So let's have a look together. And then maybe what we can do, Adam, is you can kind of guide us through, what you've built so far and why you're excited about it. But here we go, guys. Let's have a look at the Victoria VR trailer. I must say, this is really cool. Apple Watch doesn't do this yet.
Not yet. Not yet. So you can see how you can build your house from your watches because you are in VR. And then you are right now on the flying island. So you will see after that you will be flying from the flying island and you will see the capital city actually.
This is super cool, by the way. And I've seen a lot of these, first-person shooter games and out there, and I don't think I've seen something as hyper-realistic as this so far because it's just so smooth. And so are you planning on having this game available also on the latest Apple VR glasses?
So in
eventually?
Apple VR, of course, we announced that we are launching something there, but it will be a little different than the game we are doing right now because you don't have the controller. So I believe right now what Apple is doing is focusing more for the second part, which is the work interactions and all this stuff. And I completely understand that. And I believe they will also have like more gaming thing. Of course, in our world, there will be some applications that you have just hand tracking. We're already using hand tracking, for example, in the shop where you can buy the physical stuff or others. But for the game itself, you still need some buttons, so you can So we will have application there. It will be a little different, and we'll see how the future will come. But I believe 100% that they will be also doing more like some gaming Apple Vision Pro.
Super cool, Adam. And I'd love to do some follow-up questions on the first T, which is the team. So obviously you guys have been building games for a while. As you said, some of the top VR games so far released all happened in Czech Republic, which is super cool, by the way. But can you tell us a little bit more on the team? So why do you think you guys have the right team and the right number of team members to become the winners when it comes to VR, specifically in the Web3 space?
Yeah, so I came from the crypto, from Web3. And we have a lot of really good people inside from Web3, for example, Mark Akinwale and others. But at the same time, here in the heart of the Europe, in Prague, we have a lot of virtual reality developers and game developers. So we had pretty good, strong and good team here. But I would also say that one of the first investors we got is an investor from Silicon Valley. And this guy was like 11 years director for electronic arts for Latin America. It's Malero Reyes. He was not just investor, but also chief strategy officer now. And he also saw the opportunity about virtual reality and about AR. So right now he is also in the head of the fund targeting for the gaming and for the virtual VR and for AR and for immersive experience. So I believe this is maybe the best place where you can build virtual reality and the whole vision we are doing here.
That's great. And how many employees do you have so far, Adam?
So right now we have like 80 in-house developers.
80 in-house developers.
Mostly they are here in Prague, but of course the team, the marketing, business development, it's all around the world. But most people and developers are here in Prague.
Amazing. Very, very exciting. And so that's great. Obviously, I met you in person, Adam, and we can feel your passion. You're working around the clock, like a real, I think one of the key characteristics of a successful CEO and co-founder is being a real hustler, really like working your butt off, right? That's at least what I've seen at SwissBorg, and I think that's a trait that you naturally have.
Thank you very much. When you are doing something you love, you don't work, So it's like last from 2018. Wow, it's quite long, but I see the people that they have the same feeling like me, and that's what really makes me happy, That's what, yeah, that's how we believe we'll change the world.
That's amazing. And so the next question I have for you is kind of related to the technology, because you mentioned something earlier, which is you want to build, a real VR game with Web3 integration that nobody has done so far. I believe you guys are the first movers in the market. And obviously, I'd love to hear your comments on that if you see competition or other people rising, which would make sense because it's trending again. But when it comes to creating a protocol, you mentioned something like you guys want to become a protocol layer as well, where other people can build VR games. Can you explain a little bit more about that? And obviously it's connected to the roadmap, but I think these were key points that we need to zoom in on.
Of course, yeah. So I think we are the first mover, or minimum we are the only VR project with the product live already, and with that I know. But the vision we have is not to create just the game, like we said, but the world where you can actually live. And we really want to use this, put the hype of gaming, VR, and blockchain together, and AI, of course. We can talk about the AI, how we are using it a little later on. And the main goal is to actually compete with Web2 VRs, because right now it's still very, very early, because I still don't see that, for example, there are a lot of people that will buy the new PS5 for the new game. So they have little better graphics, right? But I don't think a lot of people are buying new VR headsets for the game. I don't think it's there yet. I think most of the customers are just buying it so they can try what's in there. And of course, they are like the people that really love VR, and they maybe have some other game. But I don't think it's there yet for the general public. So I think we are pretty early, and that's why I'm so excited. What we are doing is that we are combining, so everything you create, own, or have is on blockchain as a NFTs or as a tokens. So Victoria VR token is the main currency of this world. At the same time, we are creating the builder, so you will be able to create your own metaverse, right? And your own economy that will be also on blockchain. And about the layer 1, layer 2, we haven't announced it yet, but we can get some hints that we also have plans about our own blockchain solution to support this VR platform that we are building. And yeah, by the way, so we are focusing for the gaming, VR, which gaming is already huge. VR is just getting started because there is like not much yet, right? Of course, blockchain, but the AI integration that I also can give hints. We are saying that we have been working on it last years, but the biggest announcement will be in upcoming days. So there are some hints, but I think the people will be pretty excited, and maybe even more than I am. And I'm very, very excited of that.
That's fantastic. Would it be fair, Adam, to kind of compare the VR token to a VR version of Sandbox at the moment, but in the future, it will be more like a Beam token VR version? Does that make sense, or is that a poor example?
I believe that's a very good example because there is nothing else to compare right now. I would maybe say even IMX.
IMX, yeah.
Yes, and yeah, but we are looking at the competition that we are looking at who we want to compare. In crypto, it's of course those projects that you mentioned, but in Web2, we are really want to compete like Web2 virtual reality. So we are looking to Beat Cyber, we are looking to Meta and Horizon Worlds, right? We are looking to those competitions. So we really want to. We believe that what we have, we can really make people that coming inside on world, and we really can get users not just inside, but make them coming back. And we have like to play to a model in virtual reality, which there is nothing there right now.
Fantastic. That's cool, bro. Listen, we talked a lot about the game. We saw the realistic version where it's kind of like the social life. Why don't we have a look at the actual battle life, the gaming side, with another trailer? What do you think?
Let's do it. Just me have give you a quick heads up what this is. So we are working on the full game on the whole world. We are now launching on April. We will be launching the first part of the world. But this is CQB. This was the side product we created in 1 month. But you see the graphics. We'll release it right after the Apple VR. So we got people excited. And yes, have a look.
All right, awesome. Let's have a look.
Great job, soldier.
All right. So that is the gaming side. So is that somehow connected to the previous hyper-realistic world?
So this is like separate game, but in the platform, of course, you will be able to jump from one to another. But in crypto, it's all about the timing, right? And we didn't want to wait. So what we did that we put this out and say, hey, have a look what quality we have that, and we already have. And like I said, this is just the side product, but it has so good feedback, and it was the most downloaded app in Upload that day. And it has really good ratings and everything. So we say, hey, we can do something more with that. And what we will be doing, there were already some challenges, but we will be, it's also not official announced, but I can tell now that we will be doing the biggest tournament in VR ever. And I'm pretty excited of that. And there will be some pretty nice rewards. So I'm very excited of that. And this was just the side product. And then we have the main product, which is early access that we are launching on April. But then, and we haven't announced it yet, but I can tell you that in pipeline we have more and more and more, because what we're gonna do is that we really keep pushing and make people exciting and try the new things and new things and new things, really, because right now we are still very, very early in VR. But it's all about the timing in crypto and blockchain, and the timing is pretty good now with Apple VR narrative. But at the same time, we really want to show what we are doing and keep pushing, and so people really can try new things every 3 months, you know. So we have a lot of in pipeline, and we will be announcing this also next days, weeks.
Awesome, buddy. So if I can do a recap, and that brings us to one of the last T's, which is traction. So far, you've released this game. You're building the hyper-realistic world. One of the future milestones and key components is the protocol layer, so other people can build other VR applications on top of yours. And then there's this big, like, global VR esports tournament that is being organized. Are those the most exciting milestones for you in the upcoming months and years?
I believe so. Yes.
Fantastic, buddy. And then the last question, I think, would be moving to the T for token. Obviously, you have staking optionalities. What's the roadmap looking there, Adam, like in terms of the token usage, and what are some kind of use cases that you think are really, really important?
Okay, so of course, it's the main currency of the world and of the games. So everything you will be able to buy, you need VR tokens for that. And that's the main utility right now. But at the same time, the whole world is built and owned by its users also. So there is DAO, and VR, you will be able to use VR for voting on DAO, 100%. And then, of course, if we are talking about our own blockchain solution, then there will be much more utility of the VR token. But this is not announced yet, but we are giving some alpha. So yes, there will be more utility of the token in upcoming months for the token.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I think we've gone through all of the T's. I really appreciate your time. I know that you're super, super, super busy. And then, yeah, just for those watching out there, like, what do you guys think about the world of VR? Obviously, do you think some sort of Ready Player One world is going to exist? Let us know in the comments. And if there are any questions that we forgot to ask and you would like to ask them to Adam and the Victoria VR team, please do let us know and we will follow up. Any last comments, my friend, on how you like to end this and like to share with the community?
Of course, pleasure. Any questions, anytime. Have a look on our socials. Have a look on our YouTube, because we are posting everything from the work, so you can see that we are really working last 2 years heavily, right? There was a B market, we use it to do all the work. And you will see also a lot of more footages from the cities, actually, from the world, about how we are building. And very soon we will start teasing the early access. So I believe a lot of very exciting stuff there, and I'm looking forward to see you all in the metaverse.
Yeah, same here, my friends. I think everyone's going to be super excited to see what's in the pipeline for Victoria VR. We will put all of the links, guys, because there are many worlds that have been built. We just covered the core trailer today and also some snippets from the battle mode. So thanks again, Adam. And it was lovely having you today.
It was a pleasure. Thank you. See you soon.